And hello, everyone. Hello, world. Another wonderful evening, Thursday. Very excited here. Hi, Vedran.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay, so today we have a very interesting topic, right?
Yes. I was just checking the volume and everything looks like it's good. So I'm really proud of myself. I feel like I'm getting super good at this. So
There you go. Wonderful.
perfect.
Do we have somewhere to watch the comments and maybe some questions? Because this today
Go
gonna
back to the tab.
here.
Yes.
Okay, and then
And the comments will show up on
here?
the right. Yes. So you're all good. If you want to
Okay.
expand the video, you can.
Okay, never mind. Just write us a message. Share your appearance. Share your where you are watching us from and how do you like the podcast with a little extra. So this is a podcast in front of the camera. So today we are moving on. So either we have a puppy, like 3 days in a home. So first 72 hours, right? And I said last time that's very important. Allow place for grief. The puppy is scared. The puppy is away from home that he will never ever be able to experience again. There is this missing his mom and siblings and entire family that he was belonging to after he was taken into a new home. So when you give to a puppy that space, it grows into very emotionally stable dog. And that's very important because the emotional intelligence is a foundation of the proper development. And it's again, we're gonna finish the session with the puppies. We're gonna get back and what if you adopt the dog? So what happens when you adopt the dog? The routine and the development of the story would be the same. So you always have these steps as we're gonna go through. And then after 72 hours, you start slowly introducing yourself, other members of the family, to a dog. And there is a certain way that we're going to talk about that today. So how we interact with our puppy after 3 days, 72 hours.
Mm-hmm. And just to go back to last week, like why do you think it's so important, or what is the significance of a dog that's like very independent, that's not needy, that doesn't follow you around into every single room?
But that dog actually trusts you. They trust you that you have everything under control, because this man-made world is usually something that we that we don't know how to, we are the only creature in the planet that is able to build the environment he wanna occupy or she wanna live in or whatever, but yet we are the most lost creatures in that same environment. So, and that is where we actually lose that connection with the dog. So if we develop a proper relationship, proper communication with the dog means that the dog is very calm and settled and he is very independent. But in order to get to that point, you need to develop a dog with a strong emotional intelligence. Like emotional intelligence of that dog should be very, very on high level, means that doesn't get triggered. So the dog doesn't get triggers with you moving away from one room to the other or lacking your attention. Or why the dog is always after us is because he doesn't trust us.
Great. So
Right?
the dog doesn't trust me because I feel like he follows me everywhere. And if I go into the bathroom, like he'll scratch at the door with his little paws. So I must not be doing something right.
Yeah, we have that story. It's a big trap. It's a big trap. Owning a puppy and having a puppy in a home, it's a trap. It's a little wolf puppy covered in with the beautiful eyes, with the beautiful cuteness, but that's what made them survive. And that is now why those wolves that we mold and shaped into Chihuahua look like, Poodle look like, Doodle look like wolves, they're not in need of hunting the prey anymore. They got that food from the humans. But if the humans, by their emotional intelligence and by their behavior, show to the dogs incapability of proving themselves responsible enough to fulfill the duty of being a leader, then inspiring leader. That's always need to, the pack of the wolf and pack of the animal and pack of the humans, it's all the pack because it's all the family. But using those terms as alpha, as a leader, it's always getting into that, bullying and aggressiveness, and it's not. The good leader inspires. He does his work and he's inspiring people around him and the dogs and everyone around him. The good leader leads. That's mean leader, leading. He doesn't need to. He leads by example. That's the good parent. He's showing to the kids what is to be done, and then the kids are following the lead. The little puppy in the wild, in the pack, they're gonna go, when they leave the cave and they introduce to the rest of the pack, they're gonna observe the behavior of the elders and they're gonna start doing the same. So that is how they are not the pack animals, the alphas. They're not aggressive. They're not bullying the rest of the pack. They're providing the survival of it, and they're responsible for survival. So that mental structure of the how do we survive is embedded in the mind of the little dog and on the little puppy. And because the humans now provide the food, the humans are expected to be responsible leaders and to keep providing the food. That's all. That's why we have this contract with the wolves, because he said, okay, it's easier for you to get the food from the humans than to get in hunt and get there out hunt the prey, kill the prey, protect the prey, have all of those others drama going on around surviving in the nature if you are a wolf. But if you use some other leveraging of your cuteness and of your beauty and whatever makes you be tame, it's going to be easier to get the food from humans. And that is where the drama starts. Because what we do is our attention is always on a puppy. Oh, what the puppy does. Oh, what the puppy go. Oh, and then the puppy thinks that the puppy is important. The puppy thinks that you are around the puppy because he must be something. You expect something from the puppy, so puppy must deliver something that he's not aware of. That what I need to deliver, what I need to do for you. What do you expect from me to do? I am the one that need to be inspired. The puppy need to be inspired, not the puppy to expect from the puppy to inspire. No, it should be other way around. And then when we fall in that trap, then we end up losing the responsible way of communicating to a puppy. We don't understand the language of the puppy. We humanize the puppy, and then that's done. That's over. The game is over, actually.
So what signal are we sending to the puppy if we overshower him with attention?
That there must be something important in a puppy. Because that is what you protect in the nature, you protect the most important one. And you are always around doing what the leader tells you to do. And now if we, by our attention to a puppy, especially in those couple of first week, especially first 3 days, right? We overwhelm a puppy with attention. And then the puppy comes and he said, like, what do you expect me to do? What should I do? Why these people are, why this world is so, I must be something important. So I should actually maybe take care about them. I should maybe, what do they do? Where do they go? What should I do here? What should I do? And then it's, little lost puppy anxiety starts, then the puppy, then actually, by outside force of the environment where the puppy lives, his physiology starts to change, because the puppy at once becomes self-aware of this importance that he don't know how to respond to, and that is why he's always going after people. So after after that time of, it's not ignoring the puppy. You would hear oftentimes, break the dog or break the horse or ignore the puppy. No, it's not breaking. You don't break nothing. You are not, just give him that, ignore the puppy, and then it's gonna break him psychologically, and then when he comes to you, then you owe him forever. It's a wrong concept. It's the same doing, but the wrong concept. Oftentimes you will see that if the action and the performance is the same, and intention of the performance is different, the outcome of that, the same performance, you do the same action, but intention of the action is different, the outcome of the same action would be different. So what we need to do, we need to respect. If we respect our little puppy, then we won't ignore the puppy. We will give a puppy the space. And by giving a puppy a space, the puppy gonna learn. Then when we need a space, that's what we show to a puppy. Okay, now it's me, I can't grieve instead of you, but I can be by your side. How? You know I'm there. I'm here for you. I can't do it instead of you, but count on my support. And that is where you actually give the puppy, that's first one of the laws of harmony, law of dignity. Dignified life includes dignified development, includes this emotional strength that is a foundation of the happy puppy development. And the happy dog development later. If we adopt the dog, we're going to do the same routine. And then so now the first week is also very important. And this is the week where we got, especially I get very, criticized the most, because I don't recommend taking a puppy into a walk, or the dog. If you adopt the dog, it's the same concept. You need to teach the dog in the home everything that the dog needs to know before he goes out into a world. So I don't take puppies to a walk in the first 2 weeks. I teach them, they're already potty trained, they go pee and poo. If you have an older dog, you can also find a place in the yard if you have it. If you don't have it, take the dog, but create a place for the dog to feel safe. So just take him out to the area that might feel as a home, kind of like claim a portion of the, just if you are living in the high rise, just a portion of the space in front of the yard, claim it home, and just, take a dog out and come back. Take a dog out and come back. Don't take the dog in a walk. The walk is already something that we put on a dog pressure without being prepared for the outside danger. And then you depend on the dog, what he gets scared of, what he gets triggered of by, what he will be scared by, what he will be triggered by, and then you don't have that environment under your control because you can't control. And for the dog, he's not going to a walk. There is no such a construct as a walk in a dog. There is no walk, no need for the walk, because the basic fundamental law of the nature is achieve maximum result for the less energy used to achieve that result. So why the dogs would go to walk? Construct of the walking means that you go to hunt, you go to mark your territory, or to protect the territory from other predators or from the other packs. So why would you move from the point A to point B? Is only because of these three things. So the same is in little puppy's mind. Why do I go outside? To walk. We need to walk. The only animal on the planet that walks is a human animal, with no reason. We do walk because we are lacking discipline and a lifestyle that's healthy, because we overeat wrong food, and then we need to burn the calories in order to make that, disappear. So the wrongdoings on one side produce the wrongdoings on the other side. So the dog, and then when you see, oh, I have American Akita, they need to exercise, they need to do this, they need to do that, they don't need to. That's the point. And that is, I do understand that this brings a lot of criticism to this. But it's not something that I didn't live for 30 years. Having the best performing show dogs on the planet at the time, being raised by this method that was, put together by the, observing the people that were, observing the pack of the wolf, put together later on this everything in practice in a very easy way to explain. And one of them is Jan. Can you help me? Fennell, yeah, Jan Fennell. That says like, I was observing like a horse behaviorists, understanding and communicating with the horse in such a profound way. And then I asked them like, how did you learn that? And she said, I learned how to communicate with the horses by observing the wild horses, the Mustangs, untact behavior of the horses. And she said the same. She said, now, in order for me to learn how to communicate with dogs, I need to learn how the dogs communicate untact, with no human influence. I needed to start observing the wolves. So the wolves are our teachers how to communicate with the dogs. And if we present the environment of the nature of the wolves, understanding that it's happening in our house, it's the time that we're going to understand there is no need to take a dog in a walk until the dog is not settled fully in the home first. So you can't give a car to be driven by someone that doesn't know how to drive the car. Because you're going to experience the dog going to go hectic by seeing other dogs, go hectic by seeing other people, go hectic seeing, and you don't know what the dog going to have an idea about. So this first week, what you do is actually you slowly start introducing the world to the dog within the home. So you start bringing people in, you start bringing other noises, so now you need to, the raising the puppy can't be a lazy thing, but need to be very active, and not very active in a way of, oh my God, what are you doing? How cute you are, come here, do this and pet him. No, you need to put your ass up and do the things. And that's the things actually bringing in the noises of outside world, the cars, you play with the radio, you play with the TV, you play with the other people, you bring noises into a life environment of the dog where it's safe. And then when the dog learns about the outside world within the home, then he will just go outside and pretend like it's a part of the home. And it is a part of the home because there is no such a way of the dog. Wherever you take your dog, it's a home. Because if the dog would go into another, when the wolf overstep the boundaries of their home, they might be killed, they might be attacked, they might be wounded. So they don't go outside of protected area. Their home, whatever they claimed it's theirs, they're going to protect it with a life. But they also know that the same way that they protect their space and home, the other pack is doing the same. So the walking the dog is actually the most dangerous element of the dog-human interaction. And that is when the most attacks of the dog to another dogs or to another humans are happening. It's not because it's I say so. Look at the data. Observe when the people are injured by the dogs the most. During the walk. Why? Because it's a danger for the dog. It's a danger for one dog, it's a danger for the other dog. It's a danger for one human, it's a danger for the other human. Because that's what they would do if they would live in the nature. They would protect the territory from whatever they think they should. And if the humans are not in charge to show to the dogs that they are actually completely in peace with the world around them, then the dog loses a need to control something they can't control. And if we would be able to get away of this guilt theory that I didn't walk my dog for 7 hours today or 2 hours or whatever I did to my dog, the dogs would eat, sleep. Usually the happy dog behaves almost like a cat. It's a boring animal, actually, when it's happy. The dogs that we embrace are the ones that are always haptic and jumping on us and seeing. We have this little puppy now. It's like 3rd week, right?
Yeah.
I would wake up. Sleeps with us in a bedroom. So there is a little. He has his little bed. And last night, we had some salty restaurant dinner. I don't know where the Chinese were very salty Thai food. And I woke up to drink some water in the kitchen. And I'm walking by, the little dog is bad. He sleeps like all fours up and sleeps like that. So I woke up from my bed, outside the bed, make, a turn next to a bed, next to a doggy bed, go into a kitchen, pour the glass of water, drink the water, stop by the toilet on the way back, go back in the bed. The puppy was just nothing. The puppy was sleeping there. He's not interesting into following me because trusts me. When the puppy is tired, oftentimes we would like, where's the puppy? Where's the puppy? The puppy just went to his bed and sleeps. And that is what I would love to share with the world. This world is full of the certified trainers and experienced behaviorists and this and that doesn't do nothing else than make dogs become another circus animal. If you do this, I'm going to do that. So if you sit, I'm going to give you a food. And then you're going to sit. And then I think that if I make you obey to my command, then I have you under my control. The difference in between making a dog do something willingly for you is an inspiration. It's a hard work. It's a lot of love and a lot of respect that you need to build within the relationship with the dog. So the life, the atmosphere you provide around the dog creates a response of the dog to your behavior as you wish. So before you take, that's what we do in the first week. But just after the first 72 hours, after 3 days, the only thing we do with the puppy is play as much as we can on our watch. So we initiate the play. And during that play, when the puppy has full attention of ours, and then that's what we do. And that's what we need to do with our puppies. The play time is the only leisure time the dog wants, and they want it the best. What they want is to interact with their owners. They don't care about interacting and playing as much with the dogs in the doggy park. They might do that because the people will take them to a doggy park and then pick up the phone and see what's going on, news, Instagram, do the things because people are lazy to play with the dog. How long you can play with your dog on your own, that you are the world to your dog. Other dog and other humans are potential danger to your dog. Why to expose them to that? The relationship you create with your dog is a sacred relationship between human and the dog. That's inside, and we went through that a lot of time. We went through that during this podcast when I was talking about the deep emotional need of the humans to attach themselves to a dog. So it's beyond our control. But once we do and take that responsibility over, then we need to prove it. Then we need to work our I'm using that word too much today. We need to prove it and need to work our way into that relationship. And that can't be done by the lazy people. And the lazy people would just put the dog on a leash and walk. Oh, just take a dog and just let's walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And then you're going to do 10,000 steps and you'll come home and oh my God, I'm so great. And then, for example, you're going to do that when you have time. But some other time you will not have time. And then what happens? You're going to feel guilty. Because just your time today, because you need to, the rent and the mortgage and the bills just skyrocketed, and you need to find another job this month. And what happens is you have less time for your dog. It's not only that, you start feeling guilty. Now you feel guilty. You are not a leader anymore. If you feel guilty, the dog feel pressure. Why are you guilty now? I can't take you to a walk 2 hours. It's okay because I can adapt to new circumstances. But where did this, and then when feel guilty, no actions done from the that space of guilt is productive. And the dog can sense that better than we can do. And that is where you need to understand the only time that the dog wants is time with you. It can be outside. So we can walk like 2 blocks or 5 blocks, or I don't know where is the closest park I want to play with him. But then use the ball and the play and run and enjoy and make yourself like a little puppy in the pack. Make yourself be a pack, another sibling to another important creature, member of the family to your dog, because that's the dog that your dog thinks you are. So it's when all of this is, when you have opinion about what I just said, I completely understand, because we live in a world where this is not a common sense, based on over-humanizing the dogs. And we apply and we adjust and we assign them the human needs and characteristics. That's disrespecting the dog needs. That disrespecting the dog's purpose and the dog well-being and the dog being an essence of being is this disrespectfulness. It's not respect. Respect is to do something that's right to be done, regardless what I think. You can believe, or because you don't see this powerful relationship that exists within us, the bond is not seen, but there's the laws that exist in this bond. You don't need to see virus or you don't need to believe in a virus. You don't need to believe in nothing, but then you get sick next time. And even you got sick and infected by something not even the microscope can find and prove. So we can maybe think about whatever, you don't need to believe that things are happening by the certain laws, regardless what is our belief. But that belief oftentimes prevents us from doing the right thing. Because the growth doesn't exist beyond the boundaries of belief. So we can do just things we believe we can do. Something we can do because we experience the outcome as a good or bad. Something we can do because someone told us and we trust and we try and we, fail and error, bring us to the position where we kind of end up having a nice relationship to the dog. And as I oftentimes said, by becoming a leader to your dog, you by accident, just become a better father, better mother, better brother, better sister, better to your company, better assets to the company on every level, because you managed to apply a set of rules that were maybe not in line with your belief system, but they gave results after applied. That's exactly why I challenge. Don't just disregard what I just said about how to introduce a puppy to the world. First, play and develop relationship with the puppy within the home to build the trust through the rituals of the playing and feeding, because the connection of the feeding and the playing can be put together. And we're gonna, after we go through this 30 days in a podcast, like in a couple of episodes, we're gonna touch base with these sacred rituals of feeding, uniting and departing from the home, how to solve the anxiety of the dog. The dog doesn't want to stay at home themselves. This puppy stays at home, like we are oftentimes away from home, like 7-8 hours. Sleeps. We have a camera. What the puppy sleeps, goes out, drinks water, go pee poo, come back, sleep. Sleep. The dog, when you are not home and the dog trusts you, because the puppies would be at home and the dogs can go like 60 miles away. The wolves can go 60 miles away to hunt, and then they leave the puppies. It can sometimes it can last days. The puppy is gonna stay in their cave. They wouldn't go out, and they wouldn't cry because they are connected. So the field of the family, when separated, it doesn't split. The field stretches. So when we have a good connection with the dog, we can stay telepathically connected to that. And the moment you start worrying, that worry translates to your puppy. For example, what can be a worry? Oh my God, we are already 4 hours away from a home. The puppy might be missing us. So what I'm sending anxious anxiety. I'm sending anxious vibrations. And me and my puppy as a family, we are connected. The puppy at home and us on the work. We are connected with the field of the energy. Didn't split when I closed the door. It stretched. So I took my energy of my puppy, I took with me on the work. 30 miles away in the office. So it's our field, our family field is stretched. The moment I start worrying, the puppy doesn't know I'm worrying about because of the puppy. The puppy feel the leader start worrying. They might be in danger. Something's gonna happen. Something is happening, and that triggers panic attack into a puppy. So if you trust that you have a job to do, because if you don't do a job, there is no food, neither for you, neither for your puppy. So there is no food for puppy, no food for you. So what you need to do, you need to go hunt. Where do you hunt? We hunt in the offices. We hunt at our workplace. We need to hunt first for the money. We don't get money just immediately. We need to do something for the money. So and then just when we get the money, then we can go and buy the food that someone else hunted for us. So it's kind of like a lot of the chain of our feeding ritual is very long. And for the puppies to trust that, they need to really have a great reflection of our responsibility, and that's what the good leader does. They do their job.
Yeah, speaking of leadership, I saw a really good video last night from Maharishi, the Beatles guru, and it was talking about leadership, and even like on a global scale, and even on like countries and governments, which is kind of like the supreme leaders, everyone's government. And he was talking about it in terms of 3 principles of leadership, which are innocence, purity, and love. And I just found that like really fascinating. But innocence, not to be confused with passivity. So it's like very active. And also how the leadership is just a reflection of the national consciousness. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the way that like we lead our lives. Is it a reflection of our circumstance or how we are deep within ourselves?
But the world around us is expression of our world within. So whatever happens within is just going to be, we're going to be witnessing it outside. So all the uncertainty, not havingness, and lack of abundance, no matter how much we have, we're gonna always see lacking. When is enough? When is enough? That's we're gonna be, we can't connect to that. When is enough? When is enough? And then, in that sense, we lose innocence, because the innocence provides like enjoyment of abundance that's gratefully provided at the present moment, because everything we have is everything we have around us is an inner expression of the inner richness and abundance. And that's where the drama starts. If I'm not happy with what I have, if I want, because there the growth starts from having and being in peace with what is. And then when we start with that, then that is starts to grow, because paradoxically, when we stop looking for more, the more shows up, right? Because you are in need, and then what we do with that more, then that more we don't greedily hold for ourselves. Everything of extra and everything of more is shared. Those blessings are shared with the others. More we have, more we share. And that is where that innocence comes, because I'm happy when I have, but I'm also happy when you have. And if you don't have and I have more, I'm there to give. Because when we are hooked to that forever source of abundance, we are not afraid of staying without it, right? So that is where this, innocence, purity and love, right, comes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very good explanation of which kind of leaders we need to be to our dogs. And that's exactly where you lose that bulliness of the terms used in alpha, leader, and how you say that, authority. Because more settled we are,
tyrant.
Tyrant on top. More settled we are, bigger leaders. The people want to follow people that are settled. And then the dogs the same. The dogs can teach us what our good leadership skills actually are. If your dog doesn't trust you, and if I must say just this, and it's very interesting, how we perceive what calm and happy dog is. And that can be done through this harmonic testing that we do through the code, where we had a very big how can I say, epiphany introducing this test to our what we do in our other brand like Pure Love and Harmony. So it was the test came back, for example, let's say 24th of December, one of the tests came back, and it showed that the dog actually suffers a very high level of anxiety. The cortisol level was very high, and that through analyzing the parameters, because, for example, where the calcium is very high in the body and already in tissues that we check, then that actually when the calcium is high, then the thyroid gland is actually almost unactive. So when that gland becomes inactive, means that outside circumstances are raising a pressure on the dog, and then the dog becomes like very, very much in tuned in the relay. And on the surface, it looks like a happy dog. Like he's just interesting. He plays, he jumps, he does this, he does that. Okay, what I wanted. Let me finish here. Like a test came in 24th of December that the dog has high level of calcium, and then magnesium was also on a high level. And it's a complex thing, but I pulled these two that prove that actually dog has an inactive thyroid. And now if you would go after the test, you would also find the inactive thyroid, maybe also with some benign way of, changes on it. And what triggers all that's the outcome of the stress. And I said, let's try Doggy Mom Academy. Let's try to implement these rules. No, because everything is okay. The dog is, happy. That's January 9, January 8. Was it January 8? So 2 weeks later, the dog got hit by the car. Not because the dog got hit by the car, because he was running away. I don't know. So something was wrong. No, he was attacking the wheels of the track. Because in his little mind, he needed to protect his owners from the track. No matter what and when the trigger to the track happens, it's because was never introduced to a danger of the environment outside the home properly. Neither ever was it the idea of being nice to when you are established as a good leader at home, you can take that leadership outside. And that is how actually by thinking that we are doing a right thing to our dogs, we are actually slowly killing them. And they're going to be killed either by the outside forces, or we're going to bring their physiology to a certain level that they're going to just, die of some disease. And disease is nothing more than, shutting off the immune system because of the cortisol, adrenaline, and, other glands that are now not functioning properly. And all of that is caused by the stress that usually doesn't exist there, shouldn't exist there, because it's on humans to provide a safe space for their dogs. Because we claim we love them so much. Why wouldn't we do the right things for them?
So besides making sure that the dog, before you take them out, like you drew that analogy of letting someone behind the steering wheel of a car when they're not ready to drive. So it's really important to make sure that the dog is fully secure, that they trust the owner, and that they're completely relaxed, and to practice that indoors before you take them out into the big wide world. Is there anything else in these 3 to 6 days, or I should say 4 to 6 days, that people can be doing to ensure long-term success?
This is a lot. This is a lot what we need to do in that week, because make a journal, come up with everything that the dog can be exposed to outside, the noises, the people, the interactions, and then try to bring those people, interaction, noises, and everything in the home, with the TV, with the radio, with the internet, YouTube, whatever, the neighbors, the other members of the family, and then slowly start interacting and playing with the dog when exposed to those noises or the people. And then slowly the food you should use as not as a treat, but as a reward every single time that the dog does something good. But I don't know what I would train my dog. So I actually don't use too much treats or too much rewards as a food, because I find the food very sacred in our relationship to dogs. So what I do reward is actually only when I learn dog to come to me when I call them, and when I want them to stop when I tell them. So those kind of things I teach dog: come and stay. So, and those two things I would reward with the food. Other things, other noises and everything else, I would incorporate in a playtime. So I would play with the dogs when the other people are around. I would bring the neighbors, and then we would have neighbors talking, having fun at home, and then playing with the dogs, playing like throwing the little how you say that, toy up and down, trope and things like that. So play with the people and have other people play with the dog in silence. So that's important. You don't say nothing, and that's why it's very difficult to record raising puppy because you want to record everything in silence and then maybe to give a voiceover to those videos. So actually, and for me to be live without talking, it's really difficult. So we kind of like have a lot of footage that we recorded with this puppy and no talking. So what you do is, throwing him the toy, and always trying to find a create environment in which you present to a dog that it's a playtime. Even if that's happening around us, it's a playtime. So that is where we actually need to be very, secured that all of those things we do in home first before we introduce a world of outside to our dogs. And I suggest that not to happen before 15 days after we actually meet the dog. Either it's a puppy or it's a dog that's older dog, like we adopted something. So kind of like try to slowly go into that environment and use a most important, the most important interaction with the dog that you develop a loyalty through is a playtime. It's not a food. The food is blackmailing. The food is developed. If you do this, I'll do that. Nope. That should be that should be very carefully used, not abused. And I suggest the food to be given only when the dog come, when you call them, and when you teach them to stop wherever they are or whatever they are doing. So those two things agree to, bring them of the level of, if you do these two things, it might save your life. When I call you, you come, you deserve food. When I tell you to stop, you deserve to. Those two things are life savior. Nothing else. Sit, play dead, go do this. That's abuse. In my world, all of those obediences are abused. We didn't saw that. I liked going to zoos and to circuses until I didn't actually see the other sides too. The dogs gonna experience the same if we overdo it and overkill it with obedience. We can teach our kids to obey until certain time, and then they just stop obeying or they gonna obey to everyone. And then by creating children that obey, then they are looking for that kind of environment. If they don't turn on their parents, like cutting the relationship and ties with them because of the anger that comes from that, you do what I tell you because I own you, I gave you a life, I can take it away as well. So, and the other, that's one way. So the fly away from the parents. The other way is actually freeze, and then to look for the same people in their life. So if oftentimes the children that obey to their parents are the people that gonna look for the very dominant bosses, and they're gonna obey to the system and to whoever and whatever, and they'll just gonna be that life energy slowly drops off. So I would leave it there, I guess, before I take it somewhere else. Did all of that make sense?
No, it all made sense. What about giving the puppy a first bath? How long should we wait until you do something like that?
So I think we did it like after 10 days, right? 7-10 days. Because the moment you understand that your puppy trusts you, then you're going to introduce the bathing as well to a puppy. And next time we can talk about that. And the most important thing is not talking to a puppy, not giving anything like good boy, giving this, giving. You can, but less you talk, more effective you are, because it's just a bath. It's not a big deal. I have this under control, and you just, you don't obey. Kako se kaže prepusti se?
Relax.
Relax and?
Submit.
Submit is too bad. It's not submit. Opusti se.
Relax.
Yeah, just relax. I have this under control. And when the puppy relaxes, You just do it, and you're gonna see the video. The puppy was the first time bad, even though he got a bad before he got here, from the places where he was. And then the lady said, "Oh, of course he didn't like it, right?" But then when we gave him a first bath, he was nothing, sitting there, staying there, laying there. We even soaked him in the conditioner. He was okay.
When are we gonna release that video?
I don't know. I guess you are the artistic director. So whenever you make it, be ready to be released. Okay, I'll let you go here. Thank you so much, I guess, for your time. Trust your gut. And then if you heard anything that you don't feel comfortable with, actually, through this little live, I assume it's a proven method. It worked for 30 years for me, giving me the world champions, not because I made them, but because they were the best performing dogs in show rings. And you know what was often the time the difference in between my dogs and the rest of the dogs? Is because my dogs did it willingly. They did it for me. And I just may inspire them to do that. I didn't blackmail them with the food. I didn't train them to behave. No, they were just fully alert and fully committed to our interaction and to anything that was inspired them to do. And that brings some different charisma. And, those dogs are, no matter how great or not great, less great conformations dog they oftentimes win because of the attitude. And attitude is something that you can work on, develop, and if you make it positive and reactive, without being forced or reinforced, of no sense, but inspired, the world of the dog-man relationship and dog-human relationship completely can turn upside down for better and for good.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the likes. Please continue to follow us. We really appreciate all the support, and we hope to see you next time. Same place, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Bye.